So most people that put down the answer that you would look at GDP, right? Gross domestic product, and that would be,
That was
for
right.
the most part, right, except for, that would say the only way we would measure somebody, or that how we would judge somebody is by their looks. And you know that we all like to tell ourselves that we don't judge people, but we do. And it's not necessarily a good thing that we do that, but it's not something that we can easily get rid of. But what we can do is, not judge people just based on certain characteristics and things like that. And so we look at whether or not the economy is doing well, and this is what we call the macroeconomic perspective. We're going to look at the economy overall. So this would be all of the supply and demand curves and everything else that you would possibly put together for every part of the economy. All of those kinds of things, and you're going to get what's called a we call it the aggregate, and you're gonna find out how the economy is doing. But we don't measure it just by how much does the economy have for output. Okay, in other words, what is the how much we're going to produce? We have other things that we look at to determine whether or not the economy is healthy, whether or not it's good, and so on. Okay. So when we look at the overall aspects and workings of the national economy, there are three things that we look at. One, are prices stable? Two, is there low unemployment, people at work? And is there economic growth? So you guys, for the most part, picked out the economic growth part of it. Okay, but there's two more. Remember, stable prices and low unemployment. Those are the big things that we look at and determine whether or not something's healthy. It's just like a doctor looks at you and says, oh, well, they could judge you and say, oh, you're healthy based on your weight, or you're not healthy based on your weight. But no, they look at things like your blood pressure and your temperature and, to get an overall view of how you are doing. And same thing, we use these as how we determine how well an economy is doing. Okay? So we have three main measures of the national economy. We call it the gross domestic product. That tells us growth. That you'll see that's the sum of everything that's produced in the United States. We look at the unemployment rate to see how many people are unemployed or see how many people are working. And then we look at what our price is doing, and we use this thing called the consumer price index to determine what our price is doing. Okay? And it's not hard to figure this out. So, what are issues that we have that arise in the national economy and that affect communities' government? Okay, the information in here is outdated. It's like pre-COVID. But what challenges have we faced lately in our economy?
COVID.
Well, COVID is one. Yeah. High prices. Yep. What else?
And the war in Ukraine.
War in Ukraine. All these things are going to test our economy. Okay. So how do we confront these? I mean, what do we do to combat high prices? What do we do to get growth higher? What do we do to get people back to work? So all of these things that we have is we have to figure out what we do. Like take for instance, when